Tonight, somewhere in the world, someone is standing beside a grave. They are holding flowers they didn't grow, wearing black they'll never wear again, saying words they don't quite believe. And somewhere deep inside, they feel like none of this is enough, like they're doing death wrong. But here is the thing. You have always known how to grieve. Your ancestors figured this out a very long time ago, and what they did with their dead will change the way you understand yourself. Most people assume that burial is ancient, that our earliest ancestors simply dug a hole and moved on. The science tells a completely different story. In 2013, researcher Lee Berger and his team discovered something extraordinary deep inside a cave system in South Africa called Rising Star. Bones, hundreds of them, belonging to a creature called Homo naledi, a species with a brain roughly 1/3 the size of yours. And those bones were deliberately placed there, carried deep underground, through passages so narrow a modern human can barely squeeze through, to be left in the dark. This was not random. This was intentional. And it happened at least 230,000 years ago, maybe longer. Your ancestor, with a brain that small, chose to do something with the dead. Not eat them, not abandon them, carry them somewhere special. That feeling you get when you want to do something for someone who is gone? That urge did not start with religion. It did not start with civilization. It started long before language, long before fire was controlled. Something in the brain recognized that a person had existed and that their absence needed to be marked. Archaeologist April Nowell at the University of Victoria has spent years studying what burial tells us about cognition. Her research suggests that deliberate burial is one of the earliest signs of symbolic thinking. The moment a creature buries its dead, it is demonstrating something remarkable. It understands that a person was more than a body, that death is a different kind of thing than sleep, that the person who was there is now somehow gone. You do this too. Every time you keep a photograph of someone who has died, every time you say their name out loud, every time you sit at a table and feel the weight of the empty chair. The Neanderthals did it too. At Shanidar Cave in Iraq, archaeologist Ralph Selecki discovered Neanderthal remains buried alongside what appeared to be clumps of pollen. For decades, the interpretation was clear. Flowers placed on a grave, 60,000 years ago. A species that most people once thought barely more than a brute, stopping to put flowers on a body. Later, researchers questioned whether the pollen arrived by wind or by burrowing rodents. The debate is still alive, but the deeper truth remains. Neanderthal burials exist across Europe and the Middle East. The bodies are often arranged, folded, curled, placed with care, sometimes facing east toward the rising sun, sometimes surrounded by tools or animal bones or red ochre stained into the earth. They were doing something, they just couldn't tell us what. And that silence is the part you already understand. Because grief has never been about words. It is older than words. It is a pressure in the chest, a reflex to gather, to sit together, to not let the person disappear completely. Modern anthropologist Barbara King, in her book How Animals Grieve, documents mourning behavior across dozens of species. Elephants who return to the bones of their dead year after year, touching them with their trunks, dolphins who carry dead calves for days, chimpanzees who sit with the bodies of their group members, grooming them, refusing to leave. Grief, King argues, is not a human invention. It is a biological response to loss that runs deep through the animal kingdom. But you took it further. You made it into ritual. You made it into story. You made it into a reason to come together, to feed each other, to hold each other up while the world kept turning without the person you lost. When you stand at a funeral and you don't know what to say, you are not failing at grief. You are doing exactly what your ancestors did. You are showing up. You are staying close. You are refusing to let the person vanish without witness. Tonight, somewhere in the world, someone is standing beside a grave, and everything they are feeling, the helplessness, the reaching for the right gesture, the need to be present even when presence seems like nothing, all of it is ancient. All of it is correct. They are not doing death wrong. They are doing exactly what their species has always done,